Betty, should I move this? Betty, should I move this? Okay. I mean, all right. Thank you. Just don't want it to be in the way. All right. Thank you, Marilyn. And thank you for that song, because the whole idea of dance is that you are taking in the musicality of music or of the world, and you are moving with that. You are responding from that place. So dancing with wisdom to me means embodying it and living it, not just having it be some idea out there, but actually experiencing it. Where does wisdom come from? Well, let's take it into meditation and get some ideas. So I invite you to go within and just relax into your chair. Let the earth hold you. Sensing your breath. Just take a moment. Feel your body. And you can hear the rain stick. Might imagine that's all your cells settling in. Being held by the earth. And I want to take you on a little journey back in time. Back to before you were even conceived. And we don't know exactly where you were. You were maybe a little in your mother, a little in your father, or I don't know. But eventually, two cells that had never met, had never known each other, came together. And they shared their DNA. That was the beginning of your innate intelligence. So you might imagine being there in this womb, being all warm and cozy and safe. And all this information shared in those two, in the DNA of those two cells. It's creating your skin, your bones, your muscles, your nervous system, all your organs, all the parts of you. And nobody knows how it happens. Nobody knows how this works, but the cells know. Oh, I'm skin. I get to be this soft outer covering. Oh, I'm bone. I'm part of the framework. Oh, I'm muscle. I get to move those bones. Nobody knows how it happens, but you are being created by this DNA that has been passed on through evolution from the first life, which occurred 4,000 million years ago. The information from that first life has been passed down through evolution, passed down to the 6 million years ago that human beings first showed up. All that information has been passed down through the DNA that's in you, that's in every cell in your body. And that's probably about 5 billion bits of information in every strand of DNA. So all through evolution, life was learning how to be life. And interestingly enough, the mutations that happened were mistakes that created new life forms. And here you are now. You, this unique being who has never existed in all of time and never will again. You, unique in all the world. And something in your cells, in your biology knows this is you back there in the womb. It knows where it's headed, where you're headed. And again, when it gets to a certain level of development, it triggers this whole birthing process. And you are born into the world. A world you have never seen. You now have to make this whole shift from taking in oxygen and nutrition through your umbilical cord. As you are born, your whole body has to make this entire transformation to being able to breathe in the air that's there for you and to be able to take in food from food sources. Is this amazing transformation, but your DNA was prepared and knew how to do it. And so here you are in this world, ready to have experiences. And as you come back into the space where you are, when you open your eyes, you might sort of imagine how you might have perceived it back when you were first born into this amazing state of wonder and revelation. Here is this world. And as you come back, I want you to think back on how evolution happened in part through mistakes that were happening. That's a natural part of the learning process of evolution, and it's the natural part of the process of learning in your life. So as you come back into this present, know that all learning takes place through trial and error. There's no other way to learn. It's the only way. And that means that all mistakes are a natural part of learning. And you can just give yourself this big hug of like, oh yeah, you're going to make some mistakes and that's okay, because that's just part of the learning process. Just part of the learning process. So in life, we have sometimes heard this statement, there are no mistakes. We hear that sometimes in New Thought or our tradition. So what I'd like to say is I'd like to frame it in a slightly different way. I'd like you to sort of get the way spirit might experience that statement, which is that there are no mistakes, including that the learning process includes making mistakes. How's that for a Zen koan? How's that for a like, whoa? I'd like you to consider that when you are able to acknowledge them, then you can learn from them. Then you can say, maybe I need to make some amends, or maybe I need to forgive myself, or maybe I should do it some little bit differently next time. So I am going to put forth the idea that wisdom is what happens when your innate intelligence, that's all your DNA and all of that evolutionary information that's all inside you. And we might call it, Jung might call it the collective unconscious, because it's sort of that shared information. So wisdom is what happens when your innate intelligence begins through the experiences of your life and the journey of learning that is your life, when those two things are dancing together. That's the dance of wisdom. And it's, at least to me, it might be to you, hugely freeing and relieving to know, oh, mistakes are a part of that natural learning process. Huh, okay. Now, when you're just first born and you're born into that era of wonder and newness and exploring and what is this place and how do I relate to it? So we call that whole childhood era the era of wonder. And then as you mature and you come into adulthood, that next phase I'm going to call the era of willingness. This is where you're willing to be a warrior when you need to be. You're willing to do the work when you need to do it. You're willing to give your gifts. You're willing to contribute. And then when you come into your, how should we call it? Your more mature era. We're in the era of wisdom. Many of us are there now. Me, I'm there. The era of wisdom. So this is when all of these learnings that you've been gathering and exploring along the way are coming into an even deeper place. And in the ancient cultures and the indigenous cultures, the elders, that's what I should call it, the era of the elders. The elders are revered and seen as the holders of wisdom. So I invite us to explore that idea. Now, wisdom is not just an idea, as I said, it's something that we want to embody and dance with. So I studied with a teacher, Wendy Palmer, who out of mindfulness and the practice of the martial art of Aikido, she created conscious embodiment. And it's an idea of being able to bring your body, your spirit, and your emotions all together unified. Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, often says that our body and our mind are not in the same place. So conscious embodiment is about how to bring your body, mind, and spirit all together in one place. And one of the things that we do, let's see, I'll be here. We have sort of 3 centers of wisdom. This hip and belly center in Aikido, it's called the hara, H-A-R-A, the hara. It's this whole, and then we have the heart, and then we have the head. So here, this wisdom is spiritual confidence and groundedness. This is the part that is sort of like the base of the pyramid. The heart is, of course, the emotional texture, love, compassion, emotional feeling. And then the head is perception and being able to take in information and distill it. So what we say in conscious embodiment is that we want the belly, the hip center to be strong and to be that base of the pyramid. So the heart can be soft and the mind can be open. So you have that base of support. And they sometimes will say, belly like the mountain, heart like the ocean, mind like the sky is the idea. So sometimes when we're feeling like we're in that struggle place, it's because these three centers are not in agreement. Sometimes this center's going, I want to blah, blah, blah. And this center's going, no, I want to blah, blah, blah. And this one's going, oh, no, sometimes two against one. They can be out of agreement. And so what I'm going to encourage you all to experiment with is, what if each one could have it say, and the others respect that and listen, and then negotiate and find, well, maybe we could try this. Maybe they could all come together, or maybe one will say, well, I'm willing to try this for a week. Like, let's say I wanted to give up sugar. And this part said, oh yeah, that's going to be good for your health. And this part said, yeah, that's going to be good for your health. And this part said, I want chocolate. That doesn't really have sugar, does it? And so they would listen to each other and find a way. And maybe they'd be able to say, okay, give it up for one day or give it up for 1 week. See what happens. Experiment. And maybe the heart could go, I could do that for 1 day. Okay, I'll try that. That's just an example. Maybe it's that you want to meditate every day and you can't get yourself to do it. Maybe you want to clean your room and you can't get yourself to do it. Maybe you want to start exercising 3 times a week or whatever it is. It's not happening. Check in with your 3 centers. Find where's their wisdom. Where can there be some agreement? All right. So I want to say that there are keys to wisdom, and the keys would be compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, and being able to calm and bring yourself back to a grounded place. And with each one of these keys, let's start with compassion. So in compassion, you want to be able to, with all these keys, you want to be able to have it for yourself first. Self-compassion first. And from that place, then you can begin to extend it out to others. So that ability to listen to your centers, to listen to yourself. And then you can bring in sometimes, Thich Nhat Hanh calls it mindfulness mommy. Sometimes part of you is in pain or scared or angry or whatever. Mindfulness mommy can say, I'm here, I hear you. Yeah, and help you then be able to move into a place of compassion for yourself. And then you can have it more for other people. Same true for forgiveness. Forgiveness for your own mistakes, forgiveness for everybody. Oh, we're all on this learning path. Nobody's not making mistakes. It's just how it happens. So can we be forgiving to ourselves and then extend that out? Gratitude. So in that place where we were in the wonder part of life, it was easy to have gratitude. Oh, here's a puppy. Oh, here's a tree. I remember when my son, the first time I was holding him in my arms, first time he saw a bird, it was a seagull on our very beach. I was holding him and I could see in his face, he went, In his mind, he went, oh, that's a living being flying through the air. And I could see he was just filled with wonder and amazement and gratitude and like, oh. So gratitude, big one. But the biggest, most important key, in my opinion, to wisdom is being able to calm yourself and bring yourself out of some kind of reaction back to a centered place. And in that centered place, you have access to wisdom, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude. It's being able to come into that calm place. Thich Nhat Hanh describes it as, imagine a beautiful lake, a mountain lake up in the highlands. And it's so calm and so serene that the water is still and clear. And everything, the mountain, the trees, the sky, are reflected in the water exactly as they are, not distorted, but as they are. You see the truth reflected in that pond. And so I invite you to imagine that you can be that pond. You can calm yourself. You can be clear so that you see things as they are. And so that you are able to interact from your own place of wisdom, compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude. And you are also able, once you are calm, to do the deep looking. So Thich Nhat Hanh, that it's Tibetan Buddhism, they call calming is the practice of samatha. So that's meditating when you are meditating to calm. But vipassana is the deep looking. So there's something that's troubling you, something that you need to work on. You calm yourself first, and then you look deeply. How is this arising? What is causing or contributing to this? How do I need to respond in a way that's helpful, in a way that's wise? That's vipassana. That's deep looking. And you can only do it well when you are calm. Because otherwise, if your waters are all wiggling and swirling around, what you see will not be the truth of the sky and the mountain and the trees. So you have to be calm so you can see clearly. And you have to be calm so you can go into your own wisdom. So that, I say, is the number one key. And there's lots of ways you can do it. A single breath can bring you back. Meditation, music, nature, art, movement, anything that you resonate with like that can bring you back. In conscious embodiment, we have a 4-part centering. This is what I'm going to close with today. The 4-part centering is the heart of conscious embodiment. And what I want you to do first, I just want to demonstrate how this works. I want you to think of something that is bothering you. It could be a little thing. It could be a medium thing. Don't make it be the most giant thing, but something that just, you feel it rankling you. It's like, this thing. And when you get it, just kind of give me a little, yes, I got something. Because if you have something, this will show you, yes, thank you, thank you. Got something. Just something bugging you. Something annoying. Yep, okay. Notice how it feels in your body when you have that there. Like me, I feel squinchy face, tight. My shoulders are tight, not breathing. Hand is kind of clenched. Y'all will have your version of that, whatever you're feeling inside. So put that on hold for a moment. Sense the earth beneath you. Feel yourself resting into that. Sense the spaciousness of the sky above you so that you're feeling like you're connected to heaven and earth, heaven and earth. From there, I'm going to have you take a breath, but you're going to take a breath and do a long exhale. The long exhale is going to be the kind of breath. So whenever you're ready, take your breath in and exhale down into the earth. Yeah, a sigh is also good. And when you inhale, let it go back up to the heavens. And then when you're ready, exhale down to the earth again. And then sense the space behind you as if you had your spiritual teachers there supporting you. Ooh, yeah, right there behind you. And as if your awareness of space behind you and in front of you is equal. Sense of your space on the left and the right of you is equal. So you're the center of this circle of awareness. And then above and below you. So you're now in a bubble. You're the center of this bubble of awareness. Like the nucleus of an atom. And from there, imagine if you had more wisdom in your body and where you might feel that in your body. And how might your breath be if it had more wisdom in it? How might your heart be if you had more wisdom? And how might the world look to you if you had more wisdom? And now bring that troubling issue into your mind, into your presence again, and notice how your body is different, whatever ways it's different than the first time. I'm doing this with you, so I'm going to do it. I notice, and you'll just notice whatever you do, I notice I feel more grounded. I feel my feet. I feel my breath more easy. My shoulders are relaxed. My face is relaxed. That's what I notice. Y'all will have your own versions of it. This is a practice. This is the 4-part practice. And it is, and anybody that wants it, I'll send it to you. So the practice is you get yourself centered between heaven and earth. Breath flows down to the earth. Space around you with your spiritual teachers behind you. Gravity, feeling that sense of relaxing, and equality. I use wisdom because that's what we're using. Anybody that wants that, you can email me or Cathy Dana at gmail.com, and I will send that to you. So many ways that you can bring yourself back into that centered place, and remembering that mistakes are part of learning. You get to forgive yourself. You get to have compassion for yourself. You can have gratitude, and remembering you need for wisdom, you need the intention and the capacity. So what I was working with today is that capacity to be embodied with it. Head, heart, gut, mind, belly center. And once you have that intention and you are working with that in an embodied way, you get to dance. You get to dance. And thank you all. I hope you dance.